Hey, welcome back to the 6th anniversary of this series. Welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And every day since Disney Plus launched, even the day before, with our Zero episode featuring The Mandalorian, if you go back to the very beginning of the playlist, I've done an episode about something on Disney Plus, often randomly selected. Some things I choose based on when they're released or a holiday. But in this case, I made sure that the 6th anniversary episode was randomly selected, and we got something that wasn't exactly a fun topic, but it's an important topic. This is America's Care Crisis. It's a 28-minute ABC News special kind of thing. It had to be released in the spring of 2025, and yeah, like I said, it's not a fun topic. It's not very Disney. I always hope for a big like Disney thing, but we've gone through all the Marvel stuff, all the Disney Princess stuff, all of the Star Wars stuff, all the Pixar stuff. So it's kind of hard to find something that's going to come across as a big blockbuster moment. Probably the only things we would have left are just Disney Channel stuff, or maybe some classic animated shorts or something. But that didn't happen, and I stick to the randomization when I can. So what we have here is America's Care Crisis. This is about people who are 48 million people, by the way, at the time of this filming, 48 million people who were tasked with taking care of not just their own children in many cases, but also their parents. Half of which, as this little sort of docu short explains, half of them never expected to be in this situation or to be given the responsibility of caring for an elder who, to a certain degree, has coverage through Medicare, but often not enough to handle paying someone who is an expert in such care for someone who has Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, and it's put upon the family members to learn this skill. Now, I know a number of people who are wonderful caregivers. They've run daycares themselves. I have a niece that actually works in an elder care facility that takes care of the elderly patients there that aren't really gonna. They're not getting up and doing the hokey pokey and chess at the in the community room. They're people who are mostly bedridden. She's taken that on as what she does for a living. And I know another person who works for the government and has, over the last month and a half or so, was furloughed. And she's a professional nurse and has done these things for most of her life in one capacity or another and takes care of those. I don't know who she takes care of, but she often travels down to Washington, D.C. and takes care of those in need. Specifically one, maybe two, I'm not really sure, but she has not had to do that for the last month or so. But it's still needed. At least she wasn't paid, let's just say that. She was still doing it probably, but wasn't paid. Well, yeah. It's very hard to not be political when talking about something like this, because the care that's received, the care that's expected, the care that's funded is often determined by those who make the decisions about our lives. Since the latest administration has come into play and certain things have been prioritized, like DEI and things like that, it often crosses boundaries into cutting programs, cutting services that affect the people who need assistance. And we get to meet Janice and Gertrude in this, and their family members who are tasked with taking care of them. And for them, it is not their parent, their mother, who is a burden. It is the disease that has taken them, their livelihood from them. In the case of Gertrude, she has dementia and Alzheimer's, and she does not remember much of anything. She is basically talked to as if she were a child most of the time, with great love, with great passion, compassion, and it's by her daughter Ty and the rest of her family. And she also sort of looks after her mom on camera in many ways to show that the people who are dealing with this kind of thing are not alone. She's even went to the Washington D.C. to advocate to congresspeople to help make changes, to help follow through on promises made that I don't see coming. That some things are likely going away for those who need it most. And it's not just, oh, somebody's not working, they're spending all day playing video games. It's people who need it. I'm at the age which my parents thankfully do not need assistance, but at some point they may. And I'm on the other side of the country from them. How does that get handled? Nobody in my family bloodline takes care of the elderly. When I get up there, I'm hoping everything's changed. That people, professionals can take care of my whacked out brain and feeble body in my final days. I hope. But it's not guaranteed. And this is about understanding what goes into caring for those we love the most, and what we need to make that possible, so that there isn't pain, that there isn't struggle, that everybody can't give up their jobs to be able to pay the bills when the coverage that the person that they're taking care of doesn't even come close to covering the expenses to keep them alive, to keep them healthy. It's frustrating. For those of you who are living through this right now, I can't imagine what it's like. As we all very well may see what's to come by the end of this year, decided by people who have never had a lack of health care, a lack of money, a lack of food in their lives. So I can ramble forever on this. I just say, if this is something that you are dealing with, or you feel that you will be dealing with very soon, as maybe your parents get older, it's important to understand the situation that these people are in. And that, as we know, those who are dealing with Alzheimer's, who are dealing with Parkinson's, for just basic examples, there's so many other things with dementia and everything else that makes such a thing a struggle. And the sciences that can actually help to mitigate these problems so that there isn't a need for such overt care. When these sciences and the research gets cut and destroyed, and the support goes away because a word appears in a document that mentions diversity, equity, or inclusion, even though it has nothing to do with whatever things they I know I'm just rambling. When people make rash and horrible decisions over the lives of others, it's only done in order to make them profit and cares nothing for the human beings of America. It comes down to us to take care of those people and to make the change so that care isn't just a last resort, isn't just as devastating as it is. It's not a fun 6th anniversary episode. I'm sorry, but this is something that we should watch, we should understand, Again, not a fun watch, but things can get better if we stop the people who are intent on making it worse so their wallets are fuller and our families suffer as a result. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. That seems pretty simple. That seems like a very logical thing we want to do. We want to make the people we love the most, especially in their latest days, the people who raised us, live their fullest for as long as they can. Without pain, without struggle. Can we do that? Can we agree on that? And can we work together, regardless of what D or R or I you put in front of your name, however you vote? Can we agree on that we want that? It's something to think about. Let's pick. I'm all kerfuffled. Tomorrow's episode that we're not going to watch, 91. I'm so kerfuffled that I forgot that technically today would have been, today premiered a new film that on Disney Plus. But I realized that I bumped it to tomorrow because I wanted today's to be random. And you're so lucky to have this right now. Because I'm so morose and so emotional about this stuff. Tomorrow we're going to be watching Freakier Friday. Let me see what we got for the number that I picked, 91. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but 91. 91. Well, at least what we get for this is the one that I would have picked would be another documentary. It would have been a full solid week of documentary reality, behind the scenes kind of stuff. But what we get with this, with Freakier Friday tomorrow, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan in a sequel that's set like 20 years later or something. It just came out in theaters like in August or something, I think. Oh, well, now it's on Disney Plus, and I'm going to watch that next, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. And we get a movie to break up the long list of documentaries. So, Freakier Friday, in my roundabout way of saying this, is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.